What if everything we thought we knew about the world's most famous child prodigy was just the opening act for something much more intense? For over a decade, we've watched Angelina Jordan grow from a barefoot 8-year-old on a tiny stage in Norway to a global powerhouse. But the reports coming in this year suggest we are witnessing a total transformation. It's no longer about a kid with a grown-up voice. It's about a woman who has seized control of her own destiny in a way that is leaving industry insiders absolutely stunned. Her latest appearances haven't just been concerts, they've been statements of defiance. As we look at the footage from her recent world tour, there is a visible shift in her presence, a raw, almost haunting energy that wasn't there before. The speculation is reaching a boiling point, with critics and fans alike asking the same question. Has Angelina Jordan finally found her true self, or is the pressure of being a miracle child pushing her toward a breaking point? Tonight, we're peeling back the layers of the rumors, the recent controversies, and the unbelievable performances that have everyone talking. This isn't just a music story, it's a report on the survival of a soul in an industry known for breaking them. From her secret songwriting sessions to the shocking decision to walk away from a multi-million-dollar safety net, the reality of Angelina's current journey is far more complex than the viral clips suggest. This is the evolution of a legend, and the world is only just beginning to see the full picture. The bright lights of the Las Vegas Strip have seen every legend imaginable, but what happened at the Westgate earlier this year was described by witnesses as a vocal haunting. When Angelina Jordan took the stage for her 2026 residency debut, she didn't lead with the classic jazz covers that made her a household name. Instead, she opened with a series of original compositions that felt like they were pulled from another century. The atmosphere in the room was reportedly electric, yet unusually quiet as the audience struggled to process the sheer power of her new material. Our sources on the ground described the performance of her new track, No One Can Hear My Heart, as a moment that redefined her entire career. She wasn't just singing, she was telling a story of isolation and strength that felt incredibly personal. But beyond the artistry, there was a sense of risk. This was a massive gamble, performing entirely new, unreleased material in a city that usually demands the greatest hits. Reports suggest that even her closest advisors were nervous about the pivot, fearing that the audience might not follow her into this deeper, more experimental territory. Yet, the gamble paid off in a way that has sent ripples through the music world. The performance has sparked a fresh wave of interest in her upcoming projects, but it also raised questions about why she feels the need to move so far away from the sounds that first made her famous. It seems Angelina is no longer content with being a tribute to the past. She is determined to create a future that is entirely her own, even if it means leaving her old fans behind. Behind the scenes of the glitz and glamour, a major corporate battle has been brewing, and it recently culminated in a move that no one in the industry saw coming. In late 2025, rumors began to circulate that Angelina Jordan was seeking legal counsel to dissolve her ties with the major labels that had guided her since her teens. While most artists would give anything for the backing of a powerhouse like Republic Records, reports indicate that the jazz queen felt stifled by the creative constraints placed upon her. The tension reportedly hit a breaking point during the production of her latest album, where executives allegedly pushed for a more radio-friendly, pop-centric sound. Angelina's response was a decisive exit, choosing to go fully independent. This move toward self-governance is being hailed as a victory for artist rights, but it also comes with massive financial and professional risks. Without the machine behind her, Angelina is now responsible for every aspect of her career, from marketing to distribution. Some industry veterans have called the move career suicide, citing the difficulty of maintaining global reach without corporate backing. However, the early data suggests the opposite is happening. Her independent releases are seeing massive engagement, proving that her connection with her audience is stronger than any marketing campaign. But the fallout hasn't been entirely clean. There are whispers of blacklisting, insert radio circles, and subtle pushback from the industry elite who don't want to see an artist succeed outside of the system. Angelina is essentially at war with the traditional music model, and her latest performances are her most powerful weapons in that fight. One of the most fascinating aspects of Angelina's new era is the mysterious origin of her lyrics, which some have described as too deep for a 20-year-old to have written. Investigative fans have traced the emotional core of her songs back to her grandmother, Murray Zamani, a poet whose work has become the foundation of Angelina's 2026 discography. It's a creative partnership that is almost unheard of in the modern industry, where rooms full of professional songwriters usually manufacture hits. This grandma connection has sparked intense speculation about the nature of their bond and the weight of the stories being told. These aren't just songs, they are family legacies, often dealing with themes of exile, longing, and deep-seated pain. Some critics have questioned whether a young woman should be carrying such heavy, ancient themes, suggesting it might be contributing to the visible intensity seen in her recent interviews. However, others argue that this is exactly what makes her unreal: the ability to bridge the gap between generations. The mystery deepened when fans began noticing recurring symbols and themes in her lyrics that seemed to hint at a secret history within her family's past. These aren't just rumors, they are the breadcrumbs Angelina is leaving for her most dedicated followers. By using her grandmother's poems, she is bypassing the shallow trends of the 2020s and tapping into a timeless frequency. It's a bold rejection of the AI-generated lyrics and repetitive hooks that dominate the charts today. This connection to her roots isn't just a creative choice, it's a shield against the superficiality of the fame machine, ensuring that every word she sings has a heartbeat behind it. If you thought you could pin Angelina Jordan down to a single genre, her latest viral clips are about to prove you completely wrong. While the world labeled her a jazz singer years ago, her recent technical evolution has seen her shattering those boundaries with a grit and soul that many are calling otherworldly. In early 2026, a leaked rehearsal video of her performing a soul-infused country track went viral, sparking a massive debate among vocal coaches worldwide. They are pointing to a new rasp and weight in her lower register that suggests a significant physical and technical shift in her vocal cords. Some have speculated that this change is the result of years of intense training, while others wonder if it's simply the natural maturing of a once-in-a-century voice. But it's not just about the technicality, it's about the soul. She is now blending elements of 1960s Motown with modern cinematic orchestrations and, surprisingly, a touch of Nashville grit. This genre-bending approach has left major radio programmers confused. Where does she fit? She's too soulful for pop, too modern for traditional jazz, and too sophisticated for country. This homelessness in the charts is exactly where Angelina seems to want to be. By refusing to fit into a box, she is forcing the industry to adapt to her, rather than the other way around. Her latest cover of Unchained Melody has been described as the definitive version for the 2020s, a performance so raw that it felt like a total deconstruction of the original. She is proving that she can master any style she touches, and that versatility is becoming her greatest strength as she navigates the independent landscape. Despite the standing ovations and the record-breaking streams, there's a darker conversation happening in the corners of the internet regarding the true cost of Angelina's lifelong fame. Having been a public figure since the age of 7, she has spent nearly two-thirds of her life under the microscopic lens of the global media. Recently, fans have expressed concern over her increasingly rare public appearances, and the haunted look some claim to see in her eyes during live broadcasts. Rumors of burnout began to circulate in late 2025 when she took an unannounced 3-month hiatus from social media, leading to wild speculation about her health and well-being. While her team officially cited creative focus for the break, sources close to the production of her tour suggest that the pressure of being an independent mogul and a top-tier performer simultaneously is a massive weight to carry. There have been reports of exhaustion behind the scenes, with the artist demanding perfection from herself in a way that many find unsustainable. We've seen this story before with child stars, but Angelina seems to be attempting a different path, one where she sets the boundaries. Her recent lyrics often touch on the theme of being watched and finding silence, which many interpret as a direct commentary on her life in the spotlight. The challenge for her now is to balance the demands of her skyrocketing career with the need for a private life that was essentially non-existent during her childhood. As she navigates this transition into her 20s, the world is watching to see if she can remain the exception to the rule of the troubled child star. With the release of her 2026 album Secret of the Soul, Angelina Jordan has officially moved from being a participant in the music industry to being one of its greatest disruptors. This project is more than just music. It's a blueprint for how a modern artist can bypass the traditional gatekeepers and still achieve global dominance. By owning her masters, writing her own material, and controlling her image with an iron fist, she is challenging the very foundation of how stars are made. Reports indicate that her model of independence is already being studied by other high-profile artists who are tired of the label-slave dynamic. Her success is a direct threat to the executives who once tried to dictate her sound. But the disruption goes deeper than just business. In an era where AI-generated music and heavily processed vocals are becoming the norm, Angelina's insistence on raw, one-take recordings is a radical act of rebellion. She is proving that there is still a massive, hungry market for human imperfection and genuine talent. The unreal nature of her latest performances isn't just about her vocal range, it's about the fact that she is doing it all on her own terms. As we look at the charts, we are seeing her name climb alongside artists who have hundreds of millions of dollars in corporate backing, and she's doing it with a fraction of the budget but 10 times the soul. This is the shock that the title of our report refers to, not just a shock to the ears, but a shock to the system of the entire music world. As we wrap up this investigative look into the world of Angelina Jordan, one thing is abundantly clear. We are no longer looking at a prodigy but a pioneer. The shocks she continues to deliver to the world are symptoms of a deep, uncompromising talent that refuses to be silenced or sold. Whether she's taking a gamble in Vegas or fighting for her independence in a boardroom, she is proving that the most powerful thing an artist can be is themselves. The future of soul music might just be in the hands of a young woman who decided that the only person worth listening to was the voice inside her own heart. What do you think is the biggest risk for an artist who decides to walk away from the fame machine to go independent?